was driving on my small private road, which is less than 1,000 feet long and only about 12 feet wide in some places, when I noticed a Subaru Legacy in front of me. Just to clarify, this road is private, not public. There's no public parking allowed here. The car turned into my driveway, and I thought the driver was just lost and needed to turn around, which happens quite often. But then a woman got out of the car and started walking past me. Now, my driveway and parking area might be a bit unusual because they're across the street from my house, but it's still my property. It's not just a spot in front of my house where I might feel entitled to park because of its location. The realtor explained this setup when I bought the house 26 years ago. It's documented in city records, on surveys, and on the deeds. Every inch of this private road is on someone's deeded property. I spent over $10,000 to have it professionally built up, leveled, and paved. This area is for my vehicles, my tenants, and our guests. I didn't go through all this effort just to be blocked from accessing my own property. I always treat people with respect and expect the same in return. I rolled down my window and politely said, "Excuse me, but that's my spot. Could you move your car?" She responded by raising a middle finger and telling me to do something about it. I replied, "That's at least $100, bitch." It actually ended up costing $125 once the car reached the impound yard. She walked to her friend's car and drove away. Instead of my now former neighbor, who knew the property lines and had shown her arrogance in the past, telling her friend to move, they both disappeared down the road. I took the last available spot on my property, leaving nothing for one of my tenants, even though there were 5 empty spots at her friend's house. This woman had driven onto my private street, ignoring a private way sign and multiple "no trespassing," "no parking," and "parking for residents only" signs. She drove past her friend's dirty apartment, where there were plenty of empty parking spots, and parked in the clean, paved area in front of my well-maintained house next door. When I politely asked her to move, she chose to be rude instead. About half an hour later, the car was towed and impounded. 6 hours after that, she was banging on my door, demanding to know where her car was. I told her to leave, but she refused. The police eventually removed her forcibly and told her never to return. She did come back, though, and was promptly arrested. What she didn't do was contact the impound yard to get her uncle's car back. About 50 days later, when the fees were just under $2,000, her uncle handed over the Subaru keys and signed the title over to the impound yard, which is owned by a friend of mine. It usually takes about 6 weeks for a new title to come in, but the impound yard was getting overcrowded. Since I had just sold my black Impala and had an empty spot, I offered to store the car at my house until the title arrived. My friend dropped off the car about a week later, but the title came in quicker than usual. I never got to see her face when she realized what had happened, but I imagine it was priceless. By the way, I've seen a lot of people call me a jerk for this, but I assure you, I'm only one when it's warranted. I always ask people to move their cars politely, and only when we're running out of space and I'm outside when they're still there. In 26 years, I've asked about 100 people to move and only had to tow 2 cars. The other car was here for about a week, and no one claimed it. I know plenty of other properties that ask twice as many people to move each year and have dozens of cars towed. If you think you would just leave someone like that alone after they ignored the signs, were politely asked to move, and then flipped you off and yelled at you to do something about it, then kudos to you. I asked politely, and she could have responded politely. As the days passed after the incident, word spread quickly through the neighborhood about what had happened. Many of my neighbors, who had also experienced similar issues with people ignoring the private road signs, approached me to share their stories. We had a long discussion about the importance of respecting private property and how frustrating it is when people disregard clearly posted signs. It became clear that this wasn't just a one-off incident, but a common problem that many of us faced. This incident brought our community closer, and we decided to work together to make our private roads' boundaries and regulations even more clear, hoping to prevent future misunderstandings and conflicts. Reflecting on the whole situation, I couldn't help but feel a mix of satisfaction and frustration. On one hand, the woman's blatant disrespect and the subsequent towing of her car highlighted the importance of standing up for what's rightfully yours. On the other hand, it's disheartening to see how some people react with such hostility when approached with a simple and polite request. This experience reinforced my belief in treating everyone with respect and kindness, but also reminded me of the necessity to protect my property and ensure that those who choose to ignore common decency face the consequences of their actions.